to spend some time to answer the question, why? What do I get if someone desires me? Why do I want that? Because desire is not the thing that I want, but there's always something on the other side. You want to get to know yourself, ask why, and then ask why again, and go down that rabbit hole for a little bit. You want to get to know what you want, what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to create, what kind of abundance and wealth and joy and pleasure you want in your life. Ask why. And at the end of it, at the very depth of it, it ends up being a lot of sensation in the body, which led me to the path somatic. Right? That's how I got into some of the deeper body work that I practice in my tantra practice. One of the things that and I'm going to move through a little exercise with you, but when I started asking why I want to be desired, what is it that I want to be desired? Why? One of it was it had a lot to do with the fear that was on the other side. That somehow I thought that if I would be desired, then I would be protected. And then I had to face in therapy, and you can do this on your own too, but I needed some help. And I had to face, why did I feel so unsafe? That I was doing all this work to be desired so that I could be protected. And which made me have to come face to face with my abandonment issues, which happened when my father passed away when I was a young girl. And I would have never drawn those lines. People say you have daddy issues, they can't tell you what that means. And it wasn't, my dad didn't leave, he passed away from what would be considered natural causes. But still, there was this wound. There was grief that I had to move through. I couldn't manifest jack shit that I really wanted until I addressed that, because I couldn't even get to truly know what I really wanted. And so a big part of this is about coming into terms with who you are, getting to know what your body is saying to you. How are you inhabiting your body? Are you running from things that your body is communicating? Because shit gets real in here. And it's not always the funnest place to hang out, right? This is where anxiety hangs out. This is where depression hangs out. This is where frustration hangs out. This is where anger hangs out. But this is also where love and pleasure hang out. This is also where all of the things that I say that I want are living at as well. And if I avoid the tough shit, the things that make me uncomfortable, then I avoid the other side too. And so then I start looking at the outside. Well, I can't go in here. So what will I get from out there? How do I make myself then desirable? Now I start manifesting shit that I don't want, that has nothing to do with me. I want to dress like this person. I'm manifesting this much money so I can dress like this person. I always joke about the Louboutins, right? Because I find them to be the most uncomfortable people on the planet. Somebody might like them. I don't know who that is, but I know they're cute. But I'm now manifesting money to buy Louboutins because I know that will give me the appearance of something out that outwardly that has nothing necessarily to do. I'm not knocking you if you got Louboutins. Please don't take this as a diss. But for me personally, it has nothing to do with what I'm really trying to manifest. So I'm really trying to manifest safety, housing, food, community, love. These are all the things that I know exist in safety. I love having these things because they make me feel safe. And if I manifest $1 million, it does not guarantee that I'm going to have those things, but it will guarantee that I can buy things that make me look like I have those things because I haven't sat with the why. And as soon as we start spending time to sit with the why, you will find yourself manifesting exactly what it is that you want, because you'll speak to it, you'll own it, you'll speak about it. People will know that's what you want. People that don't have that to offer will run. They will hide. They won't come around. People that want it also will align themselves with you. Life gets easier. The process is easier, right? And so that is why we're all here, right? Look around. Put it, let me how do I unpin myself? There we go. Remove spotlight. Here we go. And then go ahead and change your view to your gallery. Look around. Look at all these people these are your people. These are people that are trying to align themselves and they're learning. And this is your community. Yeah. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Joy. These are your people. And we start to see ourselves. Hey, Sandra. Sandra or Sandra? One or two? Two, Sandra. Okay. We start to see ourselves in each other and we shift the way that we move. We shift the way that we think. We realize that, oh, I do have some of these things. Hey, there you go. Hey, Tamar, Johan, and Vinny, Najima. Yes, right? Oh, Sandra. Okay, thank you. We start to see ourselves in each other, right? So that is something that I want us to witness. Like we have this as our manifestation. This is how we create. Hey, Lorraine, welcome. We start to see ourselves in each other and we realize very quickly that we all are looking for the same understanding of our bodies. We have safety, we have community, we have love. We have those things that make us feel safe already. That's here. We stop running from them and we start leaning into that. And so I want us to have this opportunity to just move through a little breath practice to get us started there. And then I'm going to talk about our relationship with money before we break, because time be flying. Okay. So my first request is if you're standing, you can stand. If you want to stand, you can stand. But so if you want to stand, just kind of get yourself situated. If you want to sit on the edge. I'm moving my seat because I'm going to sit on the edge of my seat a little bit so I can have my feet flat on the ground. My sit bones on my seat. So maybe if you got one of them big Dunkaduns, hey, boo, go ahead and lift your cheeks up a little bit so you can be sitting solid in your body. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes or soften them if you don't want to close them. If you want to stay kind of connected to the group, that's fine too. But make sure your feet are flat on the ground and move your shoulders down away from your body. Away from your ears, out of your body. Let's keep them connected. But just kind of lengthen up through your neck. What I like to do is literally take my hands and place them on the outside of my head and pull my head up towards the heavens, lengthening my spine, giving myself a little gentle traction, lengthening my body up from my head instead of from my core, so that I can be erect and relaxed at the same time. Give your body a mini chub. And if you find that you're not sure exactly where to sit, if you're having a hard time finding that balance and you're sitting or standing, you can sway a little bit. You can sway from right to left or front to back. And then as yourself, make those sways a little smaller until you just kind of wiggle into a neutral spot in the middle. Kind of like a penny, if you drop it and it spins around until it goes flat. And then take a few deep breaths, inhaling in the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. And then bring your breath in where you're just breathing in your nose and out of your mouth. Tuck your chin just a little bit. On every exhale, release tension from your shoulders. Allow your hands, if they're resting on your lap, to be as heavy as possible on your knees. And allow your feet to be as heavy as possible, sinking into the carpet or the wood floor or the shoes. Just let them sink, let them leave an imprint on the tile, wherever you are. Allow your body to just be heavy, which means that you're just going to release the tension from spots where you're holding it up. We all tend to find something. You can trust the chair you're sitting in. Let the chair hold your whole weight. Let the ground carry you whole. Let the earth fully support you in this moment. And then you start noticing. Start paying attention to the temperature on your feet, the air or the heat blowing in the room, or the breeze blowing through the window. I know PJ's in the Caribbean, so notice any motion of energy, which can present as blood or lymph fluids moving underneath your skin. It can present as nerves communicating, maybe twitches of energy in the body. See if you can feel any of that in your knees, your thighs, and your fingertips. See where you're finding motion, where you're experiencing sensation in the body on the outer sides, on the skin, the surface level, and just beneath the skin. Notice where there's tension, and on every exhale, you can just let go of a little more each time you breathe out. Just let go of a little bit more. Maybe there's tension in the jaw, open your mouth. Let it just hang and relax. You don't have to have it clenched. Feel air as it enters your lips or enters your nose. Notice that sensation. Your hair is on your skin. If you can feel your locks or your braids grazing your shoulders or your back or bangs on your face, just notice what that feels like, what your hair feels like touching your body. If you have any jewelry on, notice what it feels like to your body as those adornments remind you that they're there. Then spend a few moments in your eyes. Bring all your attention to where your eyes are. Notice if there's any tension in your temples, around the circles of your eyes. Maybe go deeper into the cavity of your eye, where your eyeball sits. See how much awareness you can bring to that space. And also see what comes up in your thought. Notice if anything pops up. As you're trying to just explore your eyes, where did that thought come from? And as you're here hanging out in the space where your eyes exist, all the way to the back in your head where the ocular nerve connects into the brain, I want you to see yourself, how you see yourself, naked, fresh out the shower. And I want you to focus on the parts of you that you love to see. Nothing else. Just right there in the band of your eyes, focus on the parts of you that you love to see. It's okay to smile. It's you that you're seeing. And then in a moment, just pay attention to where else in the body is lighting up with that image, with those parts of you that you love to see. What else are you feeling in the body? And then just smile yourself back into the wholeness of you. Just hold that thought about what parts of you you really love to see when you're naked, staring at your own self, and just hold on to that memory of like, yeah, I like that about me. I like that. And carry that with you throughout the rest of this day. And you can take 3 deep clearing breaths to bring yourself back into the space, exhaling out of the mouth. And sometimes it's hard for us to think about what exactly we see that we really like. And I don't want you to judge that if you felt that. I just want you to know that that's a little opportunity for you to spend some more time getting to know what that is. So maybe tonight, when you take a shower, you stand naked in your own mirror as you dry off and really find those things and see what that feels like. And to remember what that feels like for you, so that you can really start to embody your own self, right? Inhabit your own body. You can start thinking about what else it is that you really like and care about. And if you're nurturing that, because we start thinking about manifestation. For me, I think about, okay, as an example, I really I heard myself say, like, I talk about my skin. I love my skin. I do. And I'm also moving through this point in life where I realize I'm getting older, and so I'm thinking about what am I doing to really nurture and love on that. And in my manifesting, is my skin in that? Am I thinking about access to the sun and to the salt air of the ocean? Because that does my skin well. Am I thinking about the type of food I consume and my hydration levels? Being somewhere that has pure, clear drinking water with ease. Is that something that I'm manifesting? Right? This is how we start to actually create the life that we really, really want. We first check here, we come in here, and then we say, well, where is that at out here? Not the other way around. Does that make sense? How did that feel for you? Okay, good. Yeah, I see some hearts. I see some comments. All right, we have I want to open up the floor to answer some questions about manifesting. I have some stuff about relationship with money that I want to talk about, but we have 10 minutes before we start a breakout group, um, where I have you all kind of chat with each other. And so I'm curious first, are there any questions about building your relationship with your own self, and with the way that you see and view money, or with manifesting, or with sex magic? I know I saw a lot of questions about sex magic in your intros, so I would love to hear if anybody wants to be brave and ask questions here in this space. But the floor is kind of open right now. What are you thinking? Where are your questions at? Um, I love that. Naked in my mirror daily, and I love my booty and legs and face. Yeah, there you go. So I like that, because that feels good, right? So now I start thinking about my booty and my legs and my face and how that's going to show up. How do the things that I love about myself show up in my manifesting? Thank you for that. Beulah, you can unmute. I see your hand is up.
Hey, Amina.
Hello.
So I get confused with manifesting in terms of like focusing, releasing, not focusing, not releasing. Like once I want something, how much energy do I spend thinking about it, or when do I release it?
Mm. So my path of manifestation is a path of ease. If it's something that I want, I don't spend an entirety of my days being consumed by that thought. If it's something that I want, then I speak about it when it's appropriate. I don't want everything. And so, so there's room for this thing that I want to exist in my day-to-day reality. I remind myself, so I may make what's commonly known as a sigil, although I don't refer to it as that, but I may have some type of reminder that's present around me that helps me remember that this is the path that I'm on, right? For instance, our retreat center. So I'm looking at my dirt of it every day. Right? I have that with me at all that throughout my day. So I don't need to be constantly in thought of it. Sometimes even the things that you see me wear, like I may purchase jewelry from a location that I want to visit, and that I think I may want to live, so that so that energy is with me, and I don't have to constantly think about it. But by this being there, if you ask me where I got this bracelet from, and I started having a conversation with you about my plans and how I'm moving soon, then that changes it. The other thing I teach in manifestation is to not talk about what you're gonna do or what you might be doing soon. If you are living and breathing in a world of manifestation, then you are doing the thing that you said you're going to do. So to not speak about it like one day in the future, someday maybe this may happen. But if I'm purchasing a home, then I'm purchasing a home. I'm not going to tell everybody, oh, I'm going to buy a home soon. That doesn't make any sense. What does that mean? I'm going to buy a home soon. The home buying process is very long. I'm purchasing a home. There are many phases of purchasing a home. There's the coming to the reality that you need to purchase a home. That's phase one. Phase two is trying to figure out what's going on with your credit to get it lined up so that you can afford to buy a home. Phase three is identifying your budget. But these are all in this process. You're buying a home, right? And so, if you speak about your manifesting creative function as something that is actually happening and not some dream that's lofty and out in space, then you're actually moving towards it. And when you speak about it in that way, excuse me, people come forward with tools to help you, which is really a big chunk of manifesting, is creating the community to support the dream that you have. And simply by speaking about it, you said you don't want to be consumed by it, you just want to speak about it. Be in a space where people are talking about something, and these are the things that we're talking about. Oh, this is what I'm doing. When I ask you, hey, Beulah, what's up? How you been? What you up to? It shouldn't be a whole lot of I'm thinking about and I'm about to. It should be this is what I'm doing, right? And that shifts everything. So yeah, thank you for that question, Beulah. I appreciate you. All right, Lotus, I see. Let's see, how did it ask you unmute? There we go. Let me go ahead and remove this spotlight. Go ahead, Lotus. I see you have a question. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for this event. When you said like that you were protecting, okay, so first off, I feel like I'm in a process of trying to figure out myself. Like I've disassociated myself from myself for so long. So like with the meditation, I have been looking in the mirror lately, like when I get out the shower, and I'm like, oh, my body is soft. I like this, and I am on a weight loss journey. Like I've been on it forever, trying to get smaller because I feel like that would make me more desirable. So when you were talking about desirable, I was like, I want to feel that desire. So that's why I've been trying to get this weight off. And so I was like, I like seeing myself in the mirror naked when I can see my vagina and not my stomach on my thighs. And I'm like, I hate when it goes onto my thighs like that. So that's that was something that kind of spoke with me, and just like trying to figure out how to get back present with myself and not being an avatar, like, because I feel like I'm just kind of like looking at myself and not really present.
Right. Thank you for that. I think, again, I think it's really important, Lotus, to acknowledge like why that feels good. You know, one of the things, right? Like I've gone on a weight loss journey, and one of the things that I had to come to terms with when I got sick with PCOS, one of the things is, you know, they put me on a lot of steroids. I gained a shit ton of weight, and I wasn't really happy with my body. But one of the things about being able to see, like, I love the way my pussy looks. I do. It's one of my joys. I like looking at her. I like seeing the different angles and the way it looks when it's aroused versus when it's not. I like getting to know. I feel like I spent a lot of time not really knowing, like, it was there and it did some work, but I didn't really get to know. I didn't get to know my pussy. And so being able to see it standing face front in the mirror, I like that. I like that. I know why I like that, right? Because I've identified, I've sat with that. And I think that when we, you know, so much of our lives, especially as women, is always pointed towards, like, again, the desirability, you need to lose weight. And it's not necessarily so I can be healthy, right? I gained all that weight and trying to become healthy. I was trying to get healthier. And that was the medicine that they put me on. And so that wasn't even computing up here. It was not, had nothing to do with that. Getting to know what it is that you like and why, and being okay with that so that you can move forward and not just be just living on, you know, just outside of your body and forgetting that who you are, and being on this path of constantly forgetting who you are, which takes away from your divine feminine power. It takes away from your ability to co-create, co-conspire to create the life that you deserve with community, with friends, with lovers. That's important. Thank you. So thank you for that share, and I hope that this is all very helpful and you kind of finding the answers to those questions and asking more why. Asking more why. Najima, is that how you say it? Najima?
It's Najima. Hello.
Najima. Hello, Najima.
Hello, everyone. And I just want to say again, thank you for bringing this together. I came to an event, I feel like it was a couple of years ago, but I was like fairly new to Atlanta. I love the event. But when I got this email, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because I wanted to learn more about every topic that you had listed here. But just going back to what we were talking about loving yourself. What was funny to me, I just turned 41. Well, I'll be 42. But in all of the years, I was always told, oh, I love your body, or you're so sexy, you're this, that. But a lot of times I was trying to hide it. I didn't want the attention that came from what someone considered to be sexy. And even now, my daughter, she's like, oh, Mom, you can wear this. And I'm like, no. But coming into like my early 40s and me losing my father recently, well, it was pretty recent to me. It was about 7 years, but we were very close, but it changed my perspective on everything and just loving myself, kind of, you know, being in a moment. I'm back in the gym, but of course, you know, we all have our little problem areas where we're like, oh, I need to lose this. But recently I was like, you know what? I'm gonna love every step of it. I corrected myself yesterday because I wanted to take some boudoir photos. And at first I was telling my daughter, I was like, oh, I'm gonna wait until I lose this. And I was like, nope, no, I'm gonna just start putting the money aside now, so that once that money is together, I'm gonna go and take it regardless of if I lost the weight that I wanted to or not. I'm just gonna enjoy this moment and be grateful, you know, what my body looks like after 2 kids, after 42 years of living, and all of the different things, just being grateful. So I just want to say again, thank you, ladies, and everyone, for sharing your story. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Thank you for that share too. I think it's really important for us to realize, you know, I used to have a 6-pack. I had a period of my life where I had a 6-pack and I was like, it was really more like a 4-pack, but whatever. But I remember that era, right? And it was this constant praise for like, oh, your body is so cute. And then also inhabiting this fear about my body. And a lot of that I've learned, safety. This keeps coming up, right? This theme of safety, because we live in a world that says, well, and I know this, like if I go out and I have a lot of my body showing and harm comes to me, I know they're going to point to the fact that a lot of my body is showing. And so I had to navigate what that meant, which took away all ownership of my femininity, all ownership of my body, which diminished my power. When we talk about manifesting and you accessing sensual energy, like a lot of that is taking away your power. It's not, you can be mutajaba, you can wear hijab and wear the Muslim veil and cover your whole body and still have power or have none at all. But the fact that I'm being told and reminded every day that if I take something off or show more, and some harm should befall me, that I bet not say nothing. That reality was really had collapsed down on me and made me so fearful and living in that fear. When I say fearful, like I'm not scared, but I was like living in that fear. I was full of that fear and worried about that. While at the same time, I was a sex worker and I was selling, sexual experiences with me. So it was there's a space that we live in. While at the same time, I was a wife. Well, not at the same time as a sex worker. I took some marriage break. But, which to me, I don't care. I know the standard traditional marriage is sex work to me. I don't care what nobody thinks. If you got a marriage that's open and I don't mean like open having sex with other people, I mean communicating and building, and there's some real healing happening in that space. That's different, but traditional. I was in the traditional Muslim marriage and traditional Christian marriages. These are definitely just variations of sex work. So it's still the same. So that you have this whole society collapsing you down and collapsing on you, telling you this is the only way you're going to be safe. How do I then awaken my sexual energy and knowing that other people will feel that and that will put me in harm's way, and there will be no safety offered for me. So that keeps us small. And so then we get anything that's sticking out. Like I got a little belly that hangs out now. So when I go out and I have my crop tops on, I know good and well. And I know women are oftentimes the culprit of it. If somebody sees me walking down the street and says, she need to cover her belly. And I really know I don't. I really know I don't. I really know that I get to show up however I want. And I really know that I'm going to be safe. And I really know that the harm that comes to me has nothing to do with my clothing or my body. I know that the love that I get has nothing to do with my clothing or my body. I'm convinced of that. I know that to be true. This is what my body has told me as I've offered myself this practice of meditation and come into my body about my reality. Like this is what our truth has to be. We have to get to know that. And so thank you for sharing that. I see. There's a couple things I want to say. I had like I said, I'm Aquarius. This is a freestyle thing. So you're probably getting an email right now that's telling you to come jump into another session. But I think I see some questions, and I would like to offer this time to kind of hold space for those questions. So I'm gonna let the people who have raised their hand host that ask their questions, and then Mackenzie will toss you all into breakout rooms so that you can share a little more about your experiences together as well, and ask and come up with some questions for us to get answered today. So, okay. Let's see, I think Sage Goddess, you're next. I think it shows up in order, but I'm not sure if it does. Let's see, but I'm gonna ask you to unmute so you can go ahead. Hello, Sage Goddess.
Greetings, my love. First and foremost, thank you so much for holding space. I am not going to take up much time, but I am going to be intentional because I tend to rush through thinking that I need to rush. So I'm going to be intentional about my question on today. And I thank you for allowing that. My question is in regards to, in the spirit of manifestation, there are times where I struggle because I feel like those things that I am striving to manifest, for lack of better words, I feel like I'm doing something wrong because let's say I'm manifesting having a good day, just something simple. And as soon as I begin to start my day, anything that could go to the left goes all the way to the left. And then I struggle with striving to get it back on track. So my question would be, when you feel as though your manifestations are not going the way that they are supposed to, do you have like a check yourself, a reset button? What does that look like when manifestation is not doing the manifestation? Like, it didn't understand the assignment.
I like that. My manifestation and understanding the assignment. I usually check in to see if I understood the assignment first. And so as I try to create something, you can't manifest judgment. And good is a judgment. I'm going to say that again. You can't manifest judgment. And good is a judgment. So if you're saying, I want a good day, then you're calling it a bad day just by saying that. Because that's a judgment. Are you asking for something and that's not very specific? Manifestation requires you to be very specific. And so typically my reset is, did I understand the assignment? What is, and I'm just using this example for you, but what is a good day? What am I really asking for here? Do I want to be outside all day? How do I manifest a day where I get to be outdoors? Because that will feel good for me and my body. I would find that pleasurable in my body, right? I want to manifest a day where my boss is not around because I don't really enjoy her company, and I work better when she's here. That's a very specific manifestation, right? And so I have to do that. I have to pause and say, like, all right, and I do this often because a lot of times the assignment is misunderstood. And so I have to do this where I say, all right, what am I really wanting? What do I mean when I say this? What am I asking for when I say, this is what I'm trying to get to, or this is what I want, or this is what I desire? And that is a process. That's a process of getting to know what you want again, right? This is all, at the end of the day, it's coming back into here. What do I really want? And I'm asking for that. Because if not, I'm asking for something general, then it's not going to really help my situation right now. And so then I'll get discouraged and I'll think I don't have the power to create the life of my dreams. That must be for somebody else. That must be for the folks that are out there with money and with parents that pick them in with whiter skin or with more access to things. And none of that's true. It's just I have to decide what works for me. And then I move towards it with ease. And I remind myself, that's what affirmations are, reminders that the things that I want, that I truly desire, come to me with ease. Which means that if I'm coming up against a lot of hardship, I'm probably going to leave that area because that's probably not what I've been affirming every day. I just told myself every day for the last 6 months that what I want comes to me with ease. So if I'm over here really struggling for 3 or 4 days or for 3 or 4 weeks trying to get this thing I want, I gotta sit here and be like, now, which one of us is lying? Is it me or is it me? Because I said it was gonna come with ease. And here I am fighting everybody and their mama trying to get it. This does not feel like ease. I acknowledge that. Right? Yeah. So, okay. So thank you. Thank you for that, though. That was a beautiful question. I appreciate that. I hope that answer is helpful. Tanya, go ahead.
Hey, so I know you guys don't deal with young girls because it's, you have to give them a chance to mature. But I have a daughter, and I remember when I was younger, I used to be small, petite. And my big sister once told me, you have to work for it. I was like, I can eat what I want, don't give a shit. I don't need to work for it. My body is perfect. And she's like, well, you got the gift of a small body, but you need to maintain it. And I don't want that given to my daughter. And I see that my daughter is starting to get a stomach. I don't say shit to her about it because that's her body. She gets to decide what to do with it. But what advice would you give a parent who has a young daughter, like she's not even in double digits yet, to reaffirm herself in her own body without allowing external entities or sources to make her judgments for her, without necessarily putting your childhood shit into her head so she feel like she's being judged and have to go a certain way? Because she told me the other day when she came home, I'm the only one that's not Christian in my classroom. And I was like, that was done purposely. You're not going into that paradigm of I have to be judged by external sources to prove who I am. You're going to go internal, determine that, and then we're going to go from there. But I noticed sometimes she's like, well, so-and-so called me fat. And because society teaches her, if you're fat, I was like, how would you suggest, because I know you said you like the way your pussy looks, but as young girls, a lot of us were told that place or down there or don't touch or it's disgusting and all that. How do you affirm that from this age moving forward, so it doesn't make them cringe when they look at you or when you say, let's have a talk, but at the same time, reaffirming that type of positive body image. My sexuality is mine. Like shit, I'll carry a gun, a knife, whatever it takes to keep mine, but at the same time, it's mine. I get to decide how I'm going to move and do with all of it.
Tanya, that's a good question. Thank you. It's a good series of questions. I want to start by saying that I do work with young girls. I'm the auntie of 19. I have 19 blood nieces and nephews.
Crap. Okay, that's good.
And so I've upset a lot of my siblings by being very straightforward with them about the names of their body parts and about how we're going to have talk about our bodies. And they've all been fine. They've all recovered just fine from those moments of anger. I'll start with that. And the other thing the thing that I've done with my nibblings when they show up as they are in different ways is it's like, for instance, with someone called me fat, or what I hear more often in the case of my family is we got a lot of ectomorphs in my family. I hear a lot of I'm getting fat. And so one of the first things that I say is, how does that impact the way you show up if you are fat? And we have fat people in my family. So what I'm really trying to get them to understand is, do you think that you will be less lovable if you're fat? Do you think you're not as worthy of kindness and pleasure if you're fat? How does fat change you? How does fat impact you? Do you think we start changing the way in which that we see ourselves as well? This is the same question I got to ask for myself when I look in the mirror and say, "Damn, you're getting kind of fat," right? Like, I have to ask that question to myself. Like, well, what did that just come from? What does that mean? You're getting kind of fat, right? Because I know there are health implications, and I also know that there are health implications for not being fat, like on both sides of the spectrum. I mean, a lot of old people. I live in a country that has one of the top number of centurions, people who've made it to 100, and you don't see a lot of them being very skinny. You don't see them being very fat. It's like some middle happy number in the middle where people just live a long time, right? So health is a part of it. My knees feel different, right? So also pointing to the way the body feels. It's the same information you would ask yourself. When I gain 20 pounds, it is harder for me to walk. I like to walk. That's important to me. I like my feet to move me. And so as I think about the things that I love to do, and if I'm allowing my weight to impact the things that I want to do, to me, that has to be more important than if I'm cute to somebody else. Because I'm probably not going to be with that somebody else for a long time. Let me just be honest. I'm right. So I'm like, let me just be real for myself. Like, I need to be here for myself. What feels good for me? My hips are more sore because I'm sitting too much. That may lead to my gut, but it also, which I can bear with. I can deal with the gut. I can have my little roly-poly belly out in the summertime and not feel no kind of ways. But when I can't sit cross-legged on the ground and meditate for 30 minutes without hurting, that impacts a whole lot more of my life. So I had to think about that. I have to think about what does this mean for me as I show up fat? When I'm talking to one of my nibblings or a younger person and I hear them use that language, what does that mean to you? Well, your
Okay.
grandma's kind of fat. Do you think your grandma shouldn't be loved or doesn't have friends because your grandma's kind of fat? You kind of fat. Do you think, or I mean, if you are, right? I'm not trying to tell people I'm fat because I understand my body size, but
No, it's okay.
we point to, we can also look at other examples like, well, you love this person and they're fat. What is wrong with being fat is the question that we're asking the child and that we're asking ourselves. Why are we seeing fat as harm? All right. Why are we seeing fat as bad? Why are we using this language? What's wrong with your friends? Did they see that? Isn't so-and-so's mommy kind of fat too? And we love her. She loves her. So they're just being mean. You can't be mean to yourself. You can't be, and this is the same talk I might have with a 50-year-old client that comes to see me with the same body issues. You can't be mean to yourself. Now I'm gonna change, I may talk slower to the child. I may be a little more gentle. I don't have to put on my like yellow Van Zandt hat with the 8-year-old that I might wear with the 50-year-old. But it's the same concept, right? And it's really because all of this that we're talking about, and I'm glad you brought this up, is because all of this is existing outside of us. All of this goes back to how am I showing up? Well, why is that important? Is it because you want to be safe? Is it because you want to be loved? Is it because you want to be in community? Is it because what is the thing that you want that you think this is prohibiting you from accessing? And when we start looking at that, it changes a bit. It changes how we see our own relationship with ourselves. Our children, our nibblings will hear differently how we refer to our own bodies, how we refer to the bodies of each other, how we refer to the pains that we're experiencing. Well, we know, right? Like you eating sugar all the time, and that's fine because it's your body, and you'll have to administer those diabetes shots. But I know that I'm going to get up and go do the things that I want, and you're tired. And I'm going to tell you that you're probably tired because you're not eating enough whole foods. And this is the consequence. So now you don't get to go with me. You missed out on a really fun thing, right? Like we have to connect what we want, like what I actually want. I'm creating the life that I want, unless I'm not. And it sounds to me like what you're dealing with is someone who's learning about what they want. And so speaking to that, right? And leading as a parent to that is really helpful. And it's the same thing that we have to do with ourselves. If I say I want a real outdoorsy lover, I want to be in a community of people that are hanging out all the time, but I know good and well that if I go for a walk for 35 minutes, my knees are going to give out on me, then I am not creating the life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not creating the life that I want. My manifestation is mine. I am not creating that life. I am limited. My mother is a master manifester, and she right now is suffering through that because she wants to go to Egypt, but she knows she cannot walk through the streets of Egypt in the way that she wants to. And she and I have struggled. We go back and forth about this. Mama, you gotta start moving around the neighborhood in order for you to get to Egypt. That's what you're manifesting. And what we think, manifesting, I need enough money to get there. I gotta buy the airline ticket. I gotta get it. There's so much more. And a lot of it is here. Because if I'm ready to go, somebody might just show up with a ticket. But I probably have to turn them down because I'm not ready to go. All right. Same thing. This is the same concept. So thank you for that.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. Any other questions? I'm going to give y'all a few moments to pop in. Let's see what I see in the chat. Cool. All right. Good. So what I want to do with these let's see, it's almost 1:00. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up. Let's go ahead and do our bathroom breaks. I'm going to connect because we got somebody else coming in. And I want to make sure that everybody has time to breathe, stretch, move around, twerk a little bit, put on some Cardi B, whatever it takes, whatever you got to do to move energy through the body and get ready. Because we have next up, our next session is going to be extra juicy. We're going to kind of explore crypto. This is going to really open up some questions that you have. So get your pens out, get your note-taking skills together, and we're gonna get this next one popping. And we'll just close this one out here at like this. So Again, all the YouTube links from this, and just streaming on YouTube, all of these links will be available for you on in Facebook. And then the shorts, the edited clips will be available for you in the Kajabi app. So if you went to the link where you, I think it was in the email, for the bonus materials, that's all of this will be in there also. So I'm trying to make sure that no matter where you turn, you have access to everything. If there are any questions that you have that are coming up, please, again, keep writing them down. You can share them in that space where we have the bonus materials. There's a good space for asking questions, and we can continue to get some of them answered. Hopefully I'll be able to bring more experts in there, as well as in the Facebook group moving forward. So just get ready for all that, and we'll see you soon. All right, see you in 10 minutes at 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Central. We'll be starting with Tavanya and going over some